Hello, I'm Jim and this is Justin. We're going to show you how to put on the Morelco harness that was designed with no metal in it whatsoever. And what we're going to show you right now is the harness where it has no hardware on the leg straps, none in the dorsal attachment for the connection of the shock absorber, and none on the harness in the front. But this harness would meet all the requirements of EMSI, ASTM, and OSHA, and that it would meet the drop test up to 350 pounds, both in the head first drop and in the feet first drop. But it's critical that you follow the proper procedures on how to put this on and how to adjust it. If you have to adjust the dorsal attachment, you just weave the strapping through the chafe in the back. And if you need to adjust the chest strap up and down, you're able to do that very easily by sliding it back and forth. So we'll have Justin put this on and show you exactly how you would step into this harness and make it work. As noted, this would meet the this particular harness would meet the ASTM 40 calorie arc test. It would also meet the ANSI Z359-1 head first, or the drop test head first and feet first. So what you'll want to do, if this is on, as I stated, this will go through a drop test head first. If this is on like this and you were to be subjected to a head first drop, this can rip off. This little red tag has to be wrapped in such a manner that it goes around the back. Now what happens when you do a drop, it's actually applying a pressure and tightening up the Velcro if you were to go head first. This now, the user can still move this up and down to wherever he wants because of the vertical Velcro on the harness. So you need to move it up and down, but ideally you want it to go across the center of the chest. And if you turn around, Justin, in the back, what you want is the nylon loop to be approximately right between the two shoulder blades. To connect your shock absorbing lanyard, all you would have to do is take the nylon loop on the shock absorbing lanyard, pass it through the nylon loop on the harness, pass the hardware through, and now what you would do is you would girth hitch that onto the nylon loop, again eliminating all metal on the shock or on the harness. The only place you'd have metal is in the snap hook that goes back to the anchor point. So with that said, you can see this is a proper fit for Justin. He's got the leg straps where they're tight. He's got the chest strap approximately where it should be, and he's got his dorsal attachment where it should be. So now he can just connect back to his anchor point, and he would be, if he was subjected to a fall, he'd be fall protected. The user should inspect the harness every day before use. And one of the things that we do at Buckingham is to make it easier for the person doing the inspection is we always use a contrasting color of thread. So if it's a red material or blue material, we might use white. If we were to always, like I said, we always have a contrasting color. So the other thing you want to do is check the harness, the web material, make sure there's no cuts, abrasion, been exposed to any chemicals that you're not aware of. So you want to inspect it on a daily basis. You want to check the chest strap to make sure that the Velcro is properly adhering when you fasten it together. And again, you want to make sure when you're using it that the red tag is not exposed in the front. You want to make sure that it's wrapped properly around and wrapped back around so that if someone was subjected to a fall, it's applying pressure to the Velcro and it can't pull free. You want to check the dorsal attachment. You can pull the material away, look at the stitching underneath to make sure that the stitching is properly done. Again, you want to make sure that the chafe is between the two shoulder blades. So other than that, without any hardware, this is a very basic harness. It meets all the ASTM Z359.1 and all the OSHA requirements. It meets the head first and feet first drop test. The shock absorbing lanyard, you want to check that on a daily basis. This would be the gatekeeper, which is 3,600 pounds. You want to make sure that between the locking keeper and the gatekeeper, it's functioning properly, it's not sticky. If it gets a little sticky, it doesn't hurt to put a little lubricant of some type on it. The gate on this particular snap is rated to 3,600 pounds. The reason being, the shock absorbing lanyard will now allow the force to exceed 900 pounds. So with a 3,600 pound gate, it gives you a 4-to-1 safety factor. You want to make sure again that the stitching is properly done, that there is no cuts or loose torn out threads. You want to make sure that the webbing on the exterior is not abraded or cut. And the way that this particular shock absorber works is this is a 4-foot shock absorbing lanyard that it can extend 42 inches. So if it is subjected to a fall, what happens is this part that is all bunched up together can extend 42 inches. So you'll free fall 4 feet, but then it can extend another 42 inches. And what it's doing, it's burning up energy and taking the force away from the individual, and the shock absorber is burning up the energy and reducing the force to less than 900 pounds. So with that said, you want to make sure that the harness is properly girth hitched, the shock absorber is properly girth hitched onto the harness by passing the shock absorber back through itself when it's on the harness, and then just girth hitch it on and make sure you have a proper connection. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call EMSI or Buckingham.